What's up guys, my name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and welcome back to the channel. H1Z1 is one of the most memorable battle royale games of its time, but the meaning of that phrase means something a little different nowadays. That's because H1Z1, originally a PC game, was rebranded to Z1 Battle Royale when the H1Z1 PS4 edition was released, as to not cause confusion. This is because both games are similar in nature but almost completely different in their features and concept. In this video I'm going to compare Z1 Battle Royale, aka Z1 PC, once called H1Z1 King of the Kill, to the H1Z1 PS4 edition, and just talk about the similarities and differences that make each game unique and different, because a lot of people confuse and don't know that these are completely two different games and experiences from each other. This should be a pretty cool case study and also be interesting for those newcomers to either of the two games who may not understand this. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So first, a little background on how we got here real quick. Basically, the player base was conflicted with the choices of the game developer Daybreak and their choices on how they wanted to change the game. With the so-called combat update and other patches, they seemingly tried to turn H1Z1 PC into a similar experience to the newly upcoming competing game on the market, PUBG. But H1Z1's numbers were dwindling and the game seemed to be going downhill. A lot of people didn't like the fact that they were changing the game, so they had to completely relearn the new mechanics that they'd already learned for thousands of hours before. The community's friction with the developers meant the game kept changing, then reverting, and the experience was just not consistent. In the end, the game Daybreak envisioned was ported and released onto the PS4 after many months, and the H1Z1 PC edition was basically just abandoned. Although later it was reverted to its most successful version and renamed to Z1 PC. But the damage was already done in terms of the player base numbers. So first of all, the look of the game. H1Z1 PS4 has a completely different heads-up display or HUD to Z1BR. The HUD on H1Z1 is a more modernistic and simplistic square interface, whilst the Z1BR display is replicating an older classic appearance from the 2016 version of the PC game. The H1Z1 PS4 HUD was actually once on Z1BR PC, but it was changed back to an older version when the community requested it. In my personal opinion, I think both HUDs are fine, but I prefer the Z1BR one because it's from a more nostalgic point in the original PC game's lifespan. So let's jump into the differences in gameplay, aka the mechanics and feel of both games. First of all, Z1 Battle Royale has a tougher skill curve, mainly because it uses mouse and keyboard, which offers far more precision. It has a recoil system based upon rate of fire and has only 3 main weapons. The AR-15, which has horizontal recoil from left to right and requires to be tap fired. The AK-47 that has mainly vertical up and down recoil that can be shot in bursts, tapped or sprayed, and then the shotgun that's just for close range, although this is excluding the sniper rifle and the new M249 LMG that are only found exclusively in care packages. The shooting also has high levels of bullet drop and low bullet speed, making learning prediction pretty hard and time consuming, and just making it generally harder for new players. There's no scopes or attachments in Z1BR, and automatic weapons are not so straightforward to use. H1Z1 PS4 is more akin to the style of games such as PlayerUnknowns Battlegrounds, aka PUBG, and Ring of Elysium. This is mainly because there's a lot more weapons in this version than the PC game. For an example, there are fully automatic ARs such as the Commando and various other SMGs such as the Hellfire, which was removed from the PC game, that you won't find in the PC version nowadays, as well as allowing players to use scopes or iron sights in first person mode to aim more easily and efficiently. Not to mention, due to it also being console, there's a slight amount of aim assist, making it a lot easier to get the hang of for fresh players. The PS4 version also has much quicker bullets and a lot less bullet drop, making full spraying from long distances more popular and something that you'll see a lot more. However, the shooting experience can be less than perfect on the console port because with automatic weapons there can be a fair bit of screen shake put into effect, which is to simulate recoil kick, but personally for me this is just very off-putting. The animations are also a differentiating factor between these two games. For an example, Z1 Battle Royale is a very arcade-esque, fast-paced shooter with less realistic animations and movements, such as the ability to spam crouch repeatedly or jumping in strange trajectories, although movement is also pretty slow. The H1Z1 PS4 experience has animations such as the player running animation that are slightly more realistic, with a weapon in the hand looking and just feeling more heavy, and the player putting their back into it with the running force. So most of the animations on the PS4 version are a lot more realistic. Of course, the movement though seems more clunky and slower at times on PS4, perhaps due to just having the controller input, so it still doesn't really look great in the end. The collection of vehicles are slightly similar on both games, but the selection does vary between the two titles. The PC game has the following standard vehicles: the ATV quad bike, the pickup truck, the off-roader Jeep, the police car, the ARV Humvee, and the racer, which is also called the Lamborghini, which doesn't quite fit into the PC game style but was mainly added for fun. The PS4 version of the game has all of these vehicles minus the racer Lamborghini, but it also has other additional ones such as brand new delivery trucks and modern Ford looking trucks. The vehicles on PS4 are far more extensive in comparison. Let's move on to looting. On Z1 BR PC, you loot by pressing tab or your designated keybind to activate the inventory, and then loot via the proximity pane to pick up surrounding items that are close by, meaning you have to use mainly the mouse for pickups. You loot bags and airdrops by pressing E or F on them, depending what your keybind is. However, on H1Z1 PS4, you loot in a much more simplistic fashion that's easier for the console's controller implementation. When you kill a player, the player drops glowing items that spread around their death spot in a similar way to how looting on Fortnite operates, in a more arcade style, but this is just a lot better for consoles. Next, let's move on to how skins are integrated into the game and how obtaining some of them is different in both games. So Daybreak has basically utilised the same skins mostly in both games. Of course, you'll see different skins in both of them too due to different weapons and vehicles that both games offer. First of all, H1Z1 and Z1 BR have different weapons that I mentioned in the previous parts of this video, and each of all of these weapons all have different skins that are only available on the platform that they are integrated in. This is also the same for the vehicles, which are exclusive to each title. However, a lot of the skins are similar styles, such as the Neko-chan AR-15 from Z1 BR PC that's the Neko-chan Commando in H1Z1 PS4, so they reuse a lot of the skins or change them to match the other weapons. However, extremely rare and valuable skins from the PC game, such as the Showdown Backpack, which was granted only to top 5 teams of the Showdown 2015 tournament, and the Wasteland Skull Mask that was granted to event challenge completionists, and many other rare or valuable skins that are really hard to get or now unobtainable on PC, are just easy crate drops or simple level or rank rewards on the PS4 game, taking away the value completely and making some PC players slightly mad at how easy PS4 players get it. Let's take a look at the maps on offer for both games. The maps are slightly different. I have done my research for this video, however I do not own a PS4 nor do I own H1Z1 PS4, so I can't accurately say whether the PS4 version has the Z2 map, but I know what else it does offer. So firstly, the Z1 Battle Royale PC game currently runs one map in the matchmaking pool, which is known as Z2, which is the most favoured, balanced and popular map from a time in the game's lifespan when it was called H1Z1 King of the Kill, long before H1Z1 PS4 came into the picture. Now the PC version also has Z1, which is the original map from the first year the game was out in 2015, before it was replaced in 2016 for the Z2 map. Z1 is a very gritty, classical, old-fashioned world set in the 1980s, seemingly, and it's a very post-apocalyptic style, appropriate for when the game was actually still focused on the zombies in its earlier life. Currently, you can also access this Z1 map in Z1 BR by playing custom-hosted games by streamers or leagues, but it's no longer in the matchmaking pool for all players. As for H1Z1 PS4, you can't play Z1, although I believe you can still play Z2, or a variant or similar map to it, and you can also play a really nice desert map called Outland, which is really awesome. This was promised to be implemented to the Z1 BR PC game too, but it never made it into the game as the developers were laid off, which is a pretty big shame. But this is the situation with the available maps for both game versions. And that concludes my small case study video on the comparison between Z1 Battle Royale PC to H1Z1 PS4. I just want to make a video which kind of outlines how each game is different and how they are similar, because I couldn't really find many of them. I hope new players and those who have only played one of these titles will now clearly understand how different they are to each other and how they play and perform, and I hope this video was useful for that intended purpose and both interesting and fun to watch too. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and share it to any of your friends who play either of the two games or who are interested in playing them, and make sure to leave a comment below with any questions that I didn't answer in this video or anything you wish to ask me about both of these games. If you enjoyed this H1Z1 video and you want to see more Z1 Battle Royale PC videos, you can on this channel, but just make sure to subscribe and enable notifications by clicking the bell so you don't miss out on daily gaming videos such as Minecraft, GTA 5 and H1Z1. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.